In the last session, we had very clear discussion about what are regular expressions. What is REST API? Have you remembered, right? What is the REST API? How you can use? Okay, what is the need of API, REST API, web services like we covered? In a single word, can you please tell what is the main purpose of REST API? Anyone? Anyone? Can you please tell what is the main purpose? What is the main purpose of web API? Web API or REST API? You can use any word. Sir, very simple. What is the word? Please respond. Sir, just to communicate with the different applications. That's all. Sir, one application wants to communicate with another application, irrespective of their language, irrespective of their platform. I want to communicate with another application. How you can do that? Okay, interoperability between software applications. Regarding between software applications, interoperability between software applications. This what is the very important, sir. Interoperability between software applications, which is nothing but okay. Web services concept, web API concept, REST API, SOAP web services, like any web service, web API means interoperability between software applications. Remember that. So next, one more point. So two different language applications wants to communicate with each other. Suppose assume the Java app wants to communicate with the, sir, just observe the Django application. So if a Java application wants to communicate with the Django application, compulsory some API must be required. Of course, to communicate with each other, compulsory they should aware some common language. Anyone can you please tell what is the common language we are using? What is the common language? Both can able to understand what is that common language is HTTP. Remember this one, sir. HTTP is the common language. Next, what is common message format they are going to use? What is the common message format? Message format they are going to use JSON. Regarding JSON is the common message format. JSON can understandable by Python, can understandable by Java, can understandable by Django, can able to understand by any language in the world, any language application in the world can able to understand JSON format. Okay, remember that. That's why. So whether it is the Python, whether it is the Django, or whether it is the Java.NET, every person can able to understand. So message format. In the olden days, the people used what? XML. Regarding in the olden days, in the SOAP-based web services, sir, we are going to use XML, but in the rest of web services, the most commonly used concept is what? JSON. Any doubt? Any doubt? So what is the purpose of REST API? To communicate between two different applications can communicate with each other by using API. So which common language? HTTP the common language. Next, which message format they are going to use? JSON format, right? Okay, that's all. Next, JSON is the lightweight, less bandwidth requirements, Sir, very performance wise is too good. So because of that, JSON dominates XML in the RESTful web services. Generally, these days the people are going to prefer JSON. Okay, like next, let me, sir, even in the last session, I covered one example. I hope you may be aware. REST API, apps OT, like I have. Sir, do you know? Have you remembered, right? I took, sir, this is the Python application. This is the Python application, right? Python application wants to communicate with the Django application. Python application wants to communicate with the Django application. Have you observed, right? Request dot get base URL plus endpoint. Okay. Now to this URL, the request will trigger. Get request will be triggered. Now whatever response we are getting, yes, I got the response. Sir, now this is the Python application. It's the Python application, right? This Python application can communicate with this Python application can communicate with this Django application to get the data. Are you getting? All these things are function based reviews. Remember this one, how to send a HTML response, how to send a JSON response, how to send this JSON response. Like this, you people should have clear clarity about this terminology. Any doubt? Any doubt? All the things we covered very clearly in the last sessions, right? Not required to keep much explanation about this terminology, right? Let me here just have a look once, sir. Let me go to D column REST API apps. Next, without the REST, sorry, REST API, sir, here REST API apps voting. Next, without the REST, like this, I'm taking without the REST. Now, here just let me start the server py manage.py run server. Okay, like now, which application is up and running? So, because of this, which application is running now? Django application is running. Are you getting? Django application is running. Now, let me open another command prompt. Okay, now let me go to sir here without the rest py test.py. Sir, can you please tell which application I'm trying to execute? Which application I'm trying to execute? Python application. Are you getting? Python application, right? Now, two applications can communicate with each other. How this communication is going to be happen by using API concept, HTTP protocol, JSON format, like this, right? Okay, HTTP protocol, JSON format, like these two applications can communicate with each other. That's why the main purpose of REST API, web services, web API is interoperability between applications. That's what that word is the most valuable important word. Okay, now observe that Python application communicating with the Django. Sir, data coming from Django application. From Django application, employee number 100, Sunny 1000, Mumbai. This is the data. This data who is sending? Can you please confirm this data who is sending? Who is sending, sir? Django. To which person it is sending? Django application sending to Python application. Now Python application is using this data. So two different applications can able to talk with each other, can able to communicate with each other. For that, some special concept is required. That special concept is API concept. Okay, API developer is always do you know, is always going to talk about these services, how I can make it available to the outside world. That person is API developer. But the Django application developer is what business logic, what functionality I want to provide. Both are different, sir. Are you web developer or are you API developer? Observe, API developer means so for outside person, how I can provide access. This person is always talks about API level, but this what we call developer, Django developers means web developers, Django web developers mean so which service I want to provide, how this business logic should be implemented, like that. Getting? So slowly you will get much clarity. Don't worry, sir. Just as of now, REST API, the main purpose, two different applications can communicate with each other. That's all, sir. One person is sending the request, another person sending the response. Two different applications can communicate instead of human being. Clear, right? So business developers should aware API developer. If for Django with REST API is the hot skill in the market these days. First question the people are going to ask: do you know Django? Yes. Do you know REST API? Immediately you have to tell. Yes, I know. I know REST API. Okay, that hot cake in the market these days. I told right in the first session, most of the people don't know about REST API, sir. Most of the people don't know. Django developers don't know REST API. If you aware that, yes, added advantage. Okay, that's it. So now in this Django application, have you observed what this one? Is it a function based review or class based review? Is it a function based review or class based review? Can you please spell out, sir? It is the function based view. Regarding function based view, but in reality, so always we are going to use class based views only. In reality, we are always going to use class based views only in the API. Okay, remember that class based views. That's fine. So let me write the class based view also to provide JSON response. What I have to take is, so class based view. If you want to write, sir, if you want to write class based view, okay, what is the way is very simple, sir, very simple. So class I'm taking, okay, JSON CBV, okay, class based view. Every class based view, either child class or view class. Remember this one, sir. Every class based view, either child class or view class. This view class present in anyone, can you please tell in which package or in which module it is present, sir? Django dot views dot generic. Remember this one, Django dot views dot generic. In this module, okay, view class is there. If you want to write the class based view, compulsory your class should be child class or view class. First the thing what you people should aware. Any doubt, friends? Everyone in the position to understand, right? So the first thing, if you want to write class based view, because we covered already in our Django sessions, okay, from the Django dot can you spell out, sir? Views dot generic import views, import view like this we have to take. Okay, then now class JSON CBV, like this I'm taking, sir. Class JSON CBV, like I'm taking, it should be child class of view. Okay, well, excellent, sir. More concentration must be required. If it is a function based view, have you remembered, right? If it is a function based view, if you are sending get request, one functionality I want to do. If you are sending post request, another functionality I have to provide. Then what I have to do in the function based view is, if for request dot method dot if request dot method is equal to post. If the request dot method is equal to post, like do this activity, okay, like next, sir, elif request dot method is equal to get do this activity somewhere. Have you remembered, right? We have to check whether the request is coming get request or post request. Like we have to do that. This type of headache is there in function based view, but in class based view there is no such type of problem. The class based views are very cute, sir. What will happen is, in our class, okay, class JSON CBV is there. Assume that, sir, JSON CBV is there. So if get request is coming, then get method is going to execute. Okay, get method will be executed, sir. If the post request is coming, then post method is going to execute. Okay, if put request is coming, then put method will be executed. Sir. If delete request is coming, then delete method will be executed. Are you getting? In the class based views, the corresponding method only will be executed. Are you getting? Will be executed. Of course, patch also will be executed. But if it's the function based view, we require to write if the method is the post, do post related activity. If the method is the get, do get related activity, like that. So this is not that much convenient. That's why most of the people are always going to prefer class based views, especially in the API development. Compulsory we should go for class based views only. Any doubt? Are you getting? So when compared with function based views, class based views are very clear. Modulation will be there. For get method, for post method, like that, right? You people should aware clearly. Okay. Now here let me write at least one class based view. Sir, I want to send get request. Sir. Very simple. DEF get. Now listen very carefully, sir. DEF get. Somewhere I covered this one in our Django sessions also. I covered this DEF get. Can you please tell? Can you please tell? So which method? I mean, what are the arguments? What are the arguments? For the get method, what arguments we have to take? So self must be there. If it is the instance method, compulsory the first argument should be self. What is the next one? What is the next one? Request, request, request. Next, up to this we know, up to this. So any number of arguments, if you want, you can pass. Any number of keyword arguments you can pass. No problem at all. Okay, these are optional. Even you are not taking also, no problem, but syntactical sake we can take. Okay, that's it. Now what you have to take is, instead of here this get, you can return any response, no problem at all, sir. Now what I'm trying to take is just the same thing I'm taking, sir. Same thing I'm taking inside the get emp. This is the dictionary is there. This is the dictionary is there. This dictionary return JSON response of emp data. That's all. So if from the Python application, if you are sending get request, now this get method will execute. This get method will provide JSON response. Any doubt, friends? Earlier in the function based reviews, whatever code you wrote, now onwards we have to write inside get method, post method, put method, delete method, like that, right? Can you please confirm? All the people are in a position to understand? Here JSON import is not required. Here JSON import is not required. Only we require to import JSON response. JSON response. JSON response we require to have. JSON response is already imported at the top somewhere. I imported, right? JSON response somewhere I imported. Don't worry. Okay, somewhere at the top, because same file I'm using, right? Somewhere at the top it's already implemented, imported. Next, this is the syntax for get method. Get method self is always pointing to current this class object. Request means from the client. So if the Python is sending some data, that data is available inside request. If the Python application sending some data, that data will be available inside request. If any number of arguments, happily you can pass, no problem at all. Okay, that's all. This is the syntax for get method. Okay, now everyone in a position to habitize what is the get, what is the get method. Okay, like this, right? Yes, it is the variable length arguments. Variable length arguments. This is the syntax. Means for the get method, you can pass any number of arguments, any number of keyword arguments. Raman, like, clear, right? Any doubt? Which response we are sending? Can you please tell which response we are sending? Which response we are sending? JSON response. JSON response. Have you observed JSON response? If it is sending JSON response, then only my Python application in a position to understand. If it is not a JSON response, Python application can't understand. Okay, it is the JSON response only. Okay, between if Python want to send something, it should be JSON. If the Django want to send something, it should be JSON. So the common message format where all the people are going to follow JSON. Okay, now sir, up to this we are not having any doubts, sir. Like so, like this, you can write post. You can write post. Next time after that, like we can write post, next put, delete, all the remaining methods. Slowly we will get. Just I started the Sigma with the get. That's it. Now my next requirement is how to define URL pattern. If it is the post request, how to if it is the get, anyway for class based review, how to define URL pattern. This knowledge also must be required, sir. Very simple, same as function based reviews only, with a small difference. What is the difference is, okay, from test app import views. Okay, now here I'm taking, let me go for API JSON CBV. I'm taking views dot, what is the class name? What is the class name? What is the class name? Views dot what class name we took, sir? In our views function, what is our class name? JSON CBV. You have to aware JSON CBV. This is the class we took. Okay, is it enough? Anyone can you please tell? Is it enough? Is it enough? No way, no way. It is not enough, sir. Compulsory. At last, yes, underscore view we have to declare. So this is the only extra thing we have to take if it is the class-based view. This is the only extra thing we require to take if it is the class-based view. Remember this one. So views dot our class name dot as view. So this is the responsible to convert our class-based view into class-based view into function-based views. Clear, friends? Yeah, Seema, how you can take care about security? All those things will come in REST API. Security is very important. Our API should not be accessed by all the people. Some kind of security must be required. We will discuss in detail. Don't worry. Yes, you aware up to this. Sir, clear. Now let me send the request. Let me send the request from my Python application. But here this is the endpoint, endpoint API JSON CBV. Let me open test.py. Okay, here test.py. So API JSON, no. This is API JSON CBV. This is the endpoint. Okay, now here 50 times not required. That is enough. Okay, now let me cross check my server. Okay, because the reason is server should not raise any problems at all. Okay, this one must be required. Okay, well, now let me run this port. So now I'm sending the request. Request like here. Have a look once. Yes, now the data is coming from class-based view. Remember this. Suresh, compulsory we require to define endpoint. If endpoint is not there, just here endpoint means maybe root slash itself is enough. Okay. So from this discussion, you people should be aware what is class-based view. From this discussion, you people should be aware what is the class-based view. That knowledge must be required. So how to write class-based view? Okay, I changed the endpoint. Have you observed, right? API JSON CBV. Shashank. Okay. Now, sir, what I want to take here is endpoint is dollar. Yes, dollar. No, it is you are calling, right? While declaring in the URL, you can take dollar such type of terminology. But here, just a slash. That's all. Dollar means nothing. Don't take any end. Clear for you people? Any doubt how to write class-based views? How to write class-based views? It is very clear for you people, right? Okay. So now in this, which method I declared? What is the method I declared? Get method. Similarly, can I define the remaining methods or not? Yes. Post method, put method, delete method, like we are going to discuss. Next, Aryan, I don't think it's not possible to convert. Yes, we are overriding only. Correct. In the view class already default get post all those things are there. We are overriding with our required functionality. This is the class based view how you can use. So now I want to tell a small chota example here. Listen very carefully, sir. What I want to take is forget about this dictionary. I want to take my own dictionary. I want to take my own dictionary I am taking, sir. Now listen carefully, sir. My requirement is here the, of course, JSON data is equal to JSON dot dumps, JSON dot dumps, correct or not? Yesterday I covered JSON dot dumps, a dictionary I require to pass. Message is what is the message, sir? This is from get method. This is from get method. Can you please tell any wrong in this line? Please confirm. Any wrong in this line? No, no, no. Perfectly it is the valid. Regarding perfectly it is the valid, sir. JSON data is equal to JSON dot dumps. Return HTTP response. Return HTTP response. HTTP response of JSON data, comma content type is equal to please tell what is the content type I have to take. Application by JSON. I require to take application by JSON like this, right? That's it. Sir, now which response we are going to get if I send the request? Which response we are going to get if I send the request is sir, simple. This dictionary I have to get. JSON response only, this dictionary I have to get. Let me send the get request, sir. Now observe a bit very carefully. Now, sir, print data, that's all. So you are sending which request? You are sending which request? Please respond. You are sending which request? Get request. Then automatically in the class based view, which method is going to get in the chance, right? Get method will get the chance. Observe that get method will get the chance. Get method is providing JSON response with this JSON response it's going to get. Now take a bit special care. Let me execute this one. 1 minute. Let me cross check my server. Perfect. Let me execute this code. Here, what is the response we are going to get? Message, this is from get method. Perfect. So now we are getting this JSON. We are getting this JSON. Happily we are converting in the dictionary and we are trying to display. It is acceptable, no problem at all. Now my intention is, if you are sending post request, which method will be executed? If you are sending put request, which method? Delete request, which method? You should have that clarity compulsory, right? That's why let me take the remaining also. Just copy paste only, right? Just copy paste only. Okay, that's all. Third method. Next, fourth method. Like so. What is the second? Just generally these four. Second one, post. This is from post method. Okay. What is that? Put. This is from put method. Okay, sir, delete, this is from delete method. That's it. Any doubt? Just I'm not doing any big activity. Later we will take care. First, the corresponding methods are going to respond or not. What is the syntax for that? Yes, just you people should be aware, sir. Okay, sir. Now let me send. Now I send get request. Now I want to send post. If I send a post request, observe that carefully, sir. Which one is going to get the chance? Yes, can you please observe that? Yes, here it's going to tell something. Oh. It is going to tell something. Actually, there's a big reason is there. The reason for that we have to discuss in detail. Don't worry, sir. Just aware. If you aware this reason also, it will be too good. Don't it's too good. Sir, do you know which request I'm sending? Can you please confirm? Which request I'm sending? Please respond. Which request I'm sending, sir? From this code, which request I'm sending? Post request. Post means we are submitting the data. Generally, when we should go for post? Post means we are submitting the data. Correct. We are submitting the data. Have you remembered in our Django sessions, somewhere we covered CSRF token. Anyone remember this one? CSRF underscore token. For the post request, CSRF token. Okay, compulsory. So verification should be done. But CSRF token verification should be done. But that you are not providing the token. You are not providing the token. That's why it is going to object this. But anyway, you may not see from this point. Let me consider server. In server, internal server error, JSON response, runtime error, append slash something like it is looking about append slash something like is it append slash problem? Am I required to? Yeah, let me add this one. 1 minute. Let me add append slash. No issue. 1 minute. Let me start the server. Let me start the server. Yes, perfect. It's going to start. 1 minute. Same. Here now observe. I'm getting some problem. Yes, here. Are you seeing any useful information? No. 403. Status code is the 403. So now what it means? Here what it means? Very simple. Here there is another way is there to display information. What I'm taking, listen very carefully, sir. Respo.json. Now the corresponding dictate form you are going to get. If you want, you can print respo.text also. Let me print a respo.text. Text response directly. Text response directly like this, right? Now here just have a look once, sir. If I send a request where I added respo.text. If I send a request, now am I seeing anywhere? No, I'm not seeing anywhere valuable data. 1 minute, server side any? Here, are you seeing something like? CSRF cookie not set? CSRF cookie not set. Are you getting? Take very special care. Now I have to convey array Django. Just for testing purpose, I'm sending the request. Please yellow. Can you please disable CSRF verification? Can you please yellow my request without a CSRF verification? How you can do that? If I can set, it's a very easy. Maybe multiple ways are there to do that, but easiest way, simplest way, let me talk, sir. So inside, do you know who is the responsible to do this CSRF verification? Anyone, can you please tell? Who is the responsible? Don't tell Django is the responsible. Don't tell Django is the responsible. Okay. Now here just observe a bit very carefully about this one. This knowledge is a very important, sir. This is the Python application. Now listen. This is the Python application. This is the Django application. Okay, Python application, Django application. We are sending the post request. If we are sending the post request, someone in the middle is going to stop our request, and it will check whether this request contains CSRF token or not. If it is there, forward the request. If it is not there, request will be aborted. Request will be stopped there only. This person who is doing this activity in the middle, this is called middleware. Are you getting that? This is called middleware. Sir, what is middleware? Before processing the request or after processing the request, if you want to perform any activity, then we should go for middlewares. Already in Django I covered clearly that. Sir, in this middleware, okay. So which middleware is the responsible? Let me open settings.py. I open settings.py. Inside settings.py, okay, is there any middleware related to CSRF? At which line it is there? Can you please tell? So I'm a bit blind. Sometimes I can't see properly. At which line it is there? Please let me know. I can't see that much properly. What is that? Middleware. Inside middleware, I hope this is the list. Line number 47, Rajiv. already I'm blind. How you can? Okay, django dot middleware dot csrf middleware. Okay, if you comment this one, if you comment, I don't want this bloody middleware just for my testing purpose. I don't want this bloody middleware, just I want testing purpose. Okay, excellent. Okay, now what you can, if I comment this one, let me restart the server save side. Save side, let me restart the server. Now it never going to perform CSRF verification because the person who is doing that activity is disable, right? Now let me send the request. Can you please observe? This is post method. Regarding this is from the post method. Perfect. Okay, to do the post method, CSRF verification we require to disable. But anyway, this is not recommended in the production. But simplest way. Okay, I'm telling simplest way. I'm telling. But in production, we never allowed to do CSRF verification disabling. Remember, next, why the output is coming 2 times? Is there any specialty for the post method? Don't feel like that. No specialty. Here I wrote 2 times. in our test.py, I wrote 2 times. One is print data, another is print text data. JSON data I'm printing, text data I'm printing. Okay, that's all JSON. Now let me execute only one time. Clear, friends? If you are now, you are sending which request? Now you are sending which request? Post request. Now which method we are going to get? Now you are sending post request, post method is going to come. Okay, well, now I don't want post, sir. I want to put request. Then which method should come? Which method will be executed in our view function? Which method will be executed in our view function? Put method will be executed. Have a look once. For a fact message, this is from put method. I want to execute. I want to execute delete. Okay. Now, sir, which method will be executed, sir? The corresponding delete method will be executed. Of course, internally, which code we have to take, just aware. So whenever you are sending the request, get request, so in our view, the corresponding get method will execute. If you are sending post request, post method. If you are sending what put request, put method. Delete request, delete method. Now are you seeing, sir, HTTP methods, HTTP web, and the corresponding, sir, HTTP methods? Any doubt? Friends, any doubt? All the things are very clear for you people, right? Okay, now why I'm telling at the beginning only, because sir is sending get request very easily, but how you can send post request, but how you can send put request or delete request and so on. Okay, don't worry about that. These are the most commonly used methods. Okay, that first you should be aware. If any extra things are required, don't worry, I will take care. First get the basic idea. How to write the class-based view, how you can send JSON response, next how to define URL for class-based view, how you can send a URL for class-based view, next and after that, okay, from the Python program, how you can send a request to post method, post request, put request, or delete request, like how you can do that. You know, nothing will be there, just empty. It won't do anything, or just simply empty, nothing. Okay, that's all. This is the just a basic idea you people should aware clearly, right? Okay, now here will Vijay, just a very simple end point is just my own terminology what I use. Okay, what is the URL pattern? If you want to send the request, can you please tell what is the URL pattern if you want to send the request? If you want to send the request 127, now observe that 127 HTTP 127.0.0.1 colon 8000 slash slash what is the next thing is API JSON CPV. API JSON CPV, like that. This is, now do you know, this is to reach up to server, and application, up to server. This is to reach our view. So once you reach the application, within that application, okay, what is the corresponding, okay, view to reach that? Sir, up to this is by default considered base URL, and after that remaining part is considered as endpoint generally. Surya Prakash, Vijay, getting right? Okay, this extra thing whatever there after reaching the server, the extra thing whatever there, this part is by default considered as, sir, this part itself is considered as endpoint, general word. Okay, especially these endpoints are endpoints are very important. Okay, endpoint, that's it. Sir, next. Okay, so this is how you can send, how you develop a class-based view from the Python application of you are sending the request, whether the corresponding things are executing or not. Okay, that's all. Next, Nikhil is asking how to disable middleware. There are multiple ways are there to disable middleware, but one approach I'm telling. So in the settings.py, just okay, comment the corresponding CSRF view middleware, because this person is the responsible whether your request contain CSRF token or not. Okay, that's why just I commented. Have you observed, right? Just I commented this one. Nikhil, getting? Yeah, this is how you can disable the middleware. Okay, like you can delete, no problem. That activity is not going to perform, because for every request there are several things are going to be happen. These middlewares are going to do big activities for your request. If you are not defining this middleware, if you are deleting this middleware, then the corresponding activity won't be happen. Your application, there is no guarantee will work properly. Suppose if I disable this one, then there is a big security problem is going to come. CSRF verification, maybe a chance of hacking of our request. So Django provide inbuilt security. That inbuilt security we are just disabling, of course, for testing purpose only, right? I'm not developing any banking application, I'm not developing any share market application, then why I have to worry about security? Just simple. But in live, if you are going to develop your production, in the production environment, if you are going to run the application, compulsory must be required. Yeah, Vijay, multiple endpoints are possible, but anyway, there is a strict rule is there. That rule we will discuss. Don't worry, as of now, just aware multiple endpoints are possible. If tomorrow if I have another class-based view is there, then obviously we should. But one endpoint rule, like there is some rule is there, later I will discuss. It's not correct time. Friends, all the people are in a position to understand up to this. If you feel comfortable, then I want to introduce the next, the most valuable important terminology. Okay, but before that, sir, make sure please observe that very important question. What is the difference between these two things? What is the difference between these two things? It's a core Python terminology. What is the difference between these two things? Anyone, can you please tell? Normal Python interview question. Normal Python interview question. Anyone, can you please tell what is the difference between these two things? Please confirm. So the first one, variable length arguments. Second one, variable length keyword arguments. Variable length keyword arguments. Okay, variable length arguments means you can pass any number of individual values. Variable length keyword argument says you can pass any number of key value pairs, keyword arguments, right? what it means. What it means? Very simple matter of 1 minute, especially just if I have F1 star args, okay, like F1 star args, print of args I'm taking. Now, do you know you can call F1? You can call F1 without any argument, with one argument, two argument, three arguments, like any number of arguments you can pass, no problem at all. Any number of arguments you can pass, okay. All these values will be converted into tuple. All these values will be converted into tuple. Internally, sir, this one will become tuple, sir, tuple. Now, if you want, let me execute, okay, py test.py. But the answers are tuple. Internally, it will be converted into tuple. We can call these by passing any number of arguments. If you can take star keyword arguments, star keyword arguments, you can call this function by passing any number of keyword arguments. A group of key value pairs is nothing but it will become dictionary. Internally, a group of key value pairs, it will become dictionary. Okay, any number of individual values, any number of keyword arguments, that is the difference, right? Okay, now I'm taking name is equal to Durga. Next, roll number is equal to 100. Name is equal to Durga, roll number is equal to 100, like maybe name is equal to roll number is equal to 100. Next, and after that, marks is equal to some 90. Okay, girlfriend 1 is equal to Sunny. Next, girlfriend 2 is equal to some Mallika, like I'm taking. Okay, just for example sake, don't worry. Yeah, okay, F1 name, roll number, marks, girlfriend 1, like we are taking. Now take a bit very special care. Okay, sir, here name, have you observed, right? It will become what? Keyword. It will become what? Sir, dictionary. First key value, second key value, third key value, fourth key value, like this is. So very important question for the interview room. What is the difference between this one and this? So please make sure you people should be aware. Any doubt? Okay, this is one small extra from our Python. You have to just aware. Forget about anyway. This is already you people aware, sir. Now the next very important terminology what I have to discuss is, sir, mixin. Shashank, the most valuable concept. X range and the range already gone. We will discuss in the interview room, Rajiv. Okay, maybe, I mean, in the interview questions discussion will be there. There I will discuss. Forget about that. Mixin. Sir, now observe that. What is mixin? Anyone, can you please tell what is mixin? Mixing audio, video, correct? Mixed in. Okay, do you know everywhere water is there? Water can be mixed with milk. So that happily, do you know, instead of 1 liter we can sell 2 liters. Are you getting? Instead of 1 liter we can sell 2 liters. Next, dalda or palm oil can be mixed with original coconut oil or something like some other oil. Okay, so that China rice can be mixed with Indian rice. Are you getting? China rice can be mixed with Indian rice. Okay, plastic rice. So which is what that mixed in, which can be mixed, like is called mixed in. So something already I have something is there. In this, happily you can mix some other. Such a type of thing is called mix in. Sir, okay, mixed in. But where is the concept, sir? Where we will have this concept? Sir, in Django, very commonly used word, sir. Mix in. Okay, what it means is mix in is a class. In Django, mix in is a class. The main purpose of mixin is to provide several methods or to provide functions or methods, because inside a class we are using to provide functionality to the child class. to provide functionality to the child class. Mixin is a class. Mixin is a class which acts as parent class. Which acts as parent class. Parent class. So the main purpose of this mixin class is to provide functionality to the child class. Okay. Mixin class just is a supporting person. He will provide support only for child class, but not itself, but not to the parent, means it is the parent anyway. Mixin is the parent class. It won't do anything to the parent class. It is always going to provide support for the child class, because generally for mixin classes we want to create object. We want to create object for mixin. Once we can't create object for the mixin class, then where is the use for the mixin class itself? Whatever methods present inside mixin meant for child classes only. Are you getting right? So someone is there, he is always going to provide support for the society, but he won't do anything to himself. Are you getting? He won't do anything to himself. He's always going to provide support for society, for the child classes, something like for the society, something like such type of person is called mixin. Modi, best example. Okay, now are you able to understand, right? So mixins are most commonly used in our APIs. First you have to get clarity about mixins. If you are getting this one, nothing will be there. So thoda we are getting 2 or 3 points, sir. Only 2 or 3 points. One is it is a class. Okay, it will provide some functionality to the child classes. It will provide functionality to the child classes. To provide functionality to the child classes. Next, the main advantage is code reusability purpose. Code reusability purpose we can use like sir, where I will explain with a small example, then happily you can able to understand. Nothing will be there, sir. Okay, sir, here especially where this mixin is going to be there, where this mixin is going to be there, sir, something like abstract base class, okay, sir. Now have a look once. A small chota example I want to tell. Do you know here observe that JSON data return HTTP response. If you provide JSON data, I have to return HTTP response with this content type. How many times you wrote content type and so on? Are you getting? 4 times. Content type and so on. This is JSON data like 4 times. 4 times I wrote. What I want to do is I will write one small mixin. Observe carefully, sir. Inside a test app. Let me take one file named with mixins.py. Now listen very carefully, sir. Mixins.py. What I'm trying to take is class HTTP response mixin. So this mixin class is always direct child class of object. It is not having any other relation. It is the direct child class of object. You can use this independent class anywhere. That's why. So whether you are writing or not writing, it is the child class of object only. Okay, that's it. So it is. So means that it won't extend any other class. If a class extends some other parent class, then it is not treated as a mixin. Remember this one. If I'm using the word mixin means it's always extending object class. It won't extend any other class. Okay, well, now I'm taking one method, sir. Render, okay, render to HTTP response. Render to HTTP response of so instance method, right? Self. Next, if you provide JSON data, if you provide JSON data, okay, like what this person is going to do is def. So this JSON data, can you please return in the form of HTTP response? So return HTTP response. If you want to return HTTP response, at the top you should import from the Django.http import HTTP response. Import HTTP response, return HTTP response of whatever argument we are getting, JSON data, comma. What is the content type, sir? Content type is equal to application by JSON. Okay, just supporting class. Beyond that, nothing. Supporting class, right? Now, have a look once very carefully, sir. Do you know? Just I write a class, and it is the direct child class of object. Means it is not extending any other class. It is the independent class. Next, it contains one instance method. Who can get this instance method? If any person extending this mixin, if you are creating child class for this, then automatically you can. Now inside user.py, very simple, sir, very simple. Now don't worry. So you should aware the power of mixin now within a minute. Now observe this. Yeah, you will get. Don't worry, sir. Don't worry about this one. Within a minute you will get much clarity. Just keep on listening. Keep on listening. Here HTTP response mixin is the child class of object. Even you are not taking also, it is always child class of object only. Remember, it's always, it is even you are not taking, it is the direct, it is the child class of object only. So even you are taking also, no problem at all. Okay, well, next this. So now mixin is a class. This class contains several instance methods. That's all. This class contains several instance methods. Who is going to use this instance method? Child classes can use these instance methods. Remember that. Now here I'm taking JSON CBV. It is the child class of view, comma. Here let me take my mixin class. What is this mixin class, right? Have a look once. Okay, like now JSON CBV is the child class of mixin, is the child class of view. Sir, in Python, two parent classes possible or not? Two parent classes possible or not? Yes, possible. Multiple inheritance is allowed in Python. But in Java, multiple inheritance is not allowed. That's why mixin concept is not applicable for Java. Next, C#, mixin is not applicable because multiple inheritance is not allowed. But in Ruby, Scala, Python, mixin's concept is the most commonly used because multiple inheritance support is accepted in Ruby, in Python. Next, and after that in Scala, like remember that. Next, if you want to use this HTTP response mixin, compulsory we have to import from here, right, from this file. What is the name of this file? Mixins.py. That's why we have to import from test.mixins import HTTP response mixin. Oh, now how to use that I will discuss. First observe, what is a mixin? Mixin is a class which contains some instance methods. That's all. Now take very special care. JSON data is already there, sir. I have to return HTTP response with this. Now this thing you are not required to write because from the parent already one method is coming. What is that method? Render to HTTP response. Now return render to HTTP response. Render to HTTP response of JSON data. That's all. Have you observed? Have you observed? Render to HTTP response of JSON data. JSON data. Now, do you know this JSON data is coming as the argument? This person is going to return HTTP response with the content type. Yeah, we are not required to specify content type again. Just a call render to HTTP response. Now, which response is going to come now? If I can take this line, which response is coming? Please confirm. Which response is going to come? HTTP response only. HTTP response only. HTTP response with the what content type? HTTP response with the what content type? JSON type only. Are you getting? So just from here, instead of writing that line, I'm calling mixin method. Getting, friends? In the next, do you know this mixin may contain 1000 lines of the code also? 1000 lines of the code. Instead of writing 1000 lines of the code in my view function, this mixin is going to take care. Regarding this mixin is going to take care. Simple, this person is going to return that returned thing directly. I will use here. So now here also, is it possible to replace this line? Please confirm. Is it possible to replace this line? Ayo, is it possible to replace this line? Yes. Can you please guide, sir? Here, 1 minute. 1 minute. You have to call one instance method from another. Self must be required. Self dot. Here also, self dot render to HTTP response of JSON data. That's all. JSON data. Like this is. Now here just observe a bit very carefully. Even in this case also, I can replace this one. Self dot render to HTTP response of JSON data. JSON data, like that we can able to take. 1 minute, friends. JSON data. Getting? Are you in the position to understand? Here also, so the same thing I can take instead of this one. So, what main advantage we are getting, sir? What is the main advantage we are getting? Code reusability. Regarding code reusability, the biggest advantage of mixin is the code reusability. Code reusability. Observe that. Okay. So in multiple inheritance, limited version of multiple inheritance, one special case of multiple inheritance is mixin concept. So in the parent child classes, whatever general utility methods are required, I will define inside this independent class. I will mix this mixin class wherever it is required. Okay, now am I going to get same response or not? Am I going to get the same response or not? Is my mixin is working or not? Let me cross check. Get. Now, oh sorry, not this one. Okay, now here see, I'm sending get. Perfect, get method is coming. Now, sir, post. Perfect, post method is coming. Next, put. Now mixin, put method is coming. Next, put method is coming. Next, delete. Yes. Now delete method is going to come. Okay. Now up to this, just aware the word. What is the main purpose of mixin? So it is an independent class. Which contains several instance methods. Wherever these instance methods are required, make this class as the parent class. Automatically these methods available to the child class. Code reusability purpose, happily we can use mixin concept. The total REST API everywhere, mixins only. That's why you should aware what is the basic idea about mixin. Next, immediately we ask, what is the difference between multiple inheritance and the multiple inheritance with this mixin? There is a big difference in there. There's a big difference in there. What is the difference? Yes, observe that. This mixin is the direct child class of. Please respond. When we say that it is the mixin class, it should be direct child class of. It should be direct child class of object. Next, it doesn't contain any instance variable. It contains only instance methods. If you want class level data, you can, but it contains only methods which are helpful for child classes. If it doesn't contain any instance variable, then what is the use of creating object? That's why creating object for the mixin, generally we want to do that because it doesn't contain any instance variables. Remember this one. It doesn't contain any instance variable. That's why creating an object and calling these methods is a waste. These methods are helpful for the child class purpose only. So this class I developed meant for child classes. So this class won't do anything to itself. It is always a service provider to the child classes. Now, can you please tell any 2 or 3 differences between multiple inheritance and this mixin? Any 2 or 3 differences between multiple inheritance and mixin? Any differences? Now, let me summarize this. Have you identified, have you observed these differences or not? Let me, can you please cross check, sir? I will discuss. So, general mixin and multiple inheritance. Have you identified these differences or not? Mixins under this is multiple inheritance. Now observe this one. Sir, mixin, the first point. Here just have multiple points are there. Sir, mixins under. Sir, parent class instantiation. Okay, is not recommended. Instantiation is not possible because no one is going to create object. What is the use? Nothing. But here, parent class instantiation possible, sir. Parent class instantiation possible, sir. Yes, parent class instantiation possible. In the normal inheritance, if you want, you can create an object for the parent class also. Instantiation is possible. Next up, parent class. If you observe the parent class contain only instance methods but not instance variables. Parent class only instance methods, but not the instance variable. If instance variables are not there, what is the need of creating an object? But parent class can contain both the instance variables and the instance methods. If you want, you can create object for object. Parent class contains both the instance variables and the instance methods. Both possibilities are there. Next, the third important points are the methods are useful. The methods are useful only for child classes. Regarding methods are useful only for child classes. But here the methods are useful. Can you please tell? The methods are useful for both the parent class and the child class. So if you create an object for the parent class, happily on the parent class method. If you create an object for the child class, on the child class also these methods are helpful. Next, parent class should be direct child class. object. Means this mixin class can't extend any other class, but multiple inheritance. So parent class can extend any other class also. Any other class also need not be object class. Need not be object class. Now, just for code reusability purpose, okay, just for code reusability purpose, I want a class which contain some methods, okay, which is not having any other dependencies. Such a type of general mixin class, can you please provide? That thing is nothing but mixin. Getting right? Shashank. We are not required to specify object. If you are not specifying the object, if we are not specifying the object, it is the child class of object only. It is the child of object only. Okay. Next, syntactically, you never going to tell it is the mixin if any person satisfied these properties. Sir, contain only instance methods which are helpful for the child. Doesn't contain any instance variable. It is the child class of direct child class of object. If any person satisfies this type of properties, that class is said to be mixin class, helper class, utility class. For any other class, if you want this functionality, just mix in this class with that class. Automatically this functionality is available. Now I have one small doubt. My mixin class contain which method? My mixin class contain which method? Render to HTTP response. If I mixed this mixin to my JSON CBV class, now can I able to use that functionality or not? Can I able to use that functionality or not? Yes. Now the mixin is mixed with the JSON CBV. Now that methods whatever here we define, automatically these things are coming here. Okay, don't feel mixin is going to do only 1 or 2 lines, hundreds of lines also. We are not required to write multiple times. Only one time you can write, any number of times you can use, anywhere you can use. The biggest advantage of mixin is code reusability purpose. So everywhere in REST API, mixin, you should aware this mixin, sir. Conceptual wise, syntax wise, any doubt about mixin? Now I hope by this time everyone should get much clarity. Sir, what about other example? Throughout our what we call Django REST API, we are going to use these mixin classes. Don't worry, several times we are going to use these mixins. But very important question for the entire room: what is mixin? What is mixin in Django? You have to tell clearly no. Sir, when compared with what we call multiple inheritance, and what is the difference between mixin and multiple inheritance? Okay, in the case of multiple inheritance, parent is important member. If you want, you can create an object for the parent. Parent can extend some other class, but this bloody mixin class is something like, so what we call alone. This person is not having any dependencies. You can bring anywhere, no problem at all. Okay, something like bachelor is there, unmarried person is there. Bachelor is there, married person is there. Arey, I will ask bachelor, Arey, can you please come with me? Shall we go for Bangalore tomorrow for 2 days? Please come with me. I have some work at Bangalore. Please give the company like. I can ask this person. Then can I ask this person? If I can ask this person is going to tell, Arey, my wife is there, my kids are there. Okay, sorry, I can't come. Like this person is something like multiple inheritance parent class. This person is something like alone, something like mixin class. Okay, you can ask this person, Arey, today evening beer party is there, can you please come? Arey, why not? Happily. You can ask this same question to this person. Arey, my wife is telling, early, please come early. We have some urgent work somewhere, we have to go out. Sorry, I can't come. Are you in the position to understand, right? What is the difference between mixin, and normal parent class in multiple inheritance? Okay, a special case of multiple inheritance is nothing but mixin. Mixin is alone. Anywhere you can mix it, that mixin. Just to provide support for next. Any doubt? That's all. Now, so in the general multiple inheritance, parent classes, but in mixins parent classes observe. These mixins parent classes are beautiful, sir, because they are not having any other dependencies, So their job is to provide support to the child. But these people, they have their own individual identity. Okay, so they may not, okay, they may extend some other classes also. Clear? Not required to keep any explanation about this terminology. So what is mixin? What is the purpose of mixin? Next, what is the difference between multiple inheritance and mixin? Next, can I use the word mixin is a special case of multiple inheritance? Mixin is a special case of multiple inheritance. Yes, where parent is bachelor. Mixin is a special case of multiple inheritance where parent is a bachelor. In the multiple inheritance, parent classes may be married people also. Okay, so bachelor people, they are always going to provide support for the friends. Okay, for the child classes, something like. Okay, just here code reusability purpose. This is special concept came. Now mixins concept supported in Python. Respond, man. Mixin concept supported in Python. Mixin concept supported in Ruby, in Scala, in Java. In Java, no. If you can ask a Java person, Hare, what is mixin? What is mixin? Sorry, I don't know what is that concept. Like Java person is going to tell. Okay, sorry, I don't know what is that concept, because mixins generally, if you want to use mixin, compulsory multiple inheritance must be required. If you want mixin, compulsory multiple inheritance must be required. Okay, remember this. But if multiple inheritance is not supported, then you can't use mixin concept. Okay, it is a special case of multiple inheritance. Limited version of multiple inheritance is the mixin concept. Okay, so in the next sessions, I have to perform CRUD operations by using API without REST API. Without a REST API. I don't want to use that bloody Django REST framework. Minimum 5 to 6 sessions next, I have to talk about, I want to develop my own API without the REST API. How you can do that? That part I will take care. Clear, right? Yeah. Prithvi, we can use multi-level inheritance, no problem at all. Multi-level, but generally mixing. Getting the point right? This direct not possible. You have to extend some other, from that we require to extend like that. Okay, always having some dependency, but here independent component. Very important for the entire room. What is mixin? What is the purpose of mixin? When compared with multiple inheritance, what is the difference between mixin and the general multiple inheritance? I hope this table is more enough. Okay, to clear. Next, mixin can't contain instance variable, but can contain static variables. Mixin can contain only instance methods, just to add functionality. But in general multiple inheritance, parent class can contain instance variables. You can create an object for parent class. Here you can't create object for mixin, because no question of in a in instance variable, what is the need of creating an object? State is not there. Yeah.